Hey Aries, welcome to November 2019. For Scorpio season, I'm doing kind of like a fairy tale theme. So I'm pulling from this novelty spirit tarot cards deck from the Spirit Halloween store. I'm pulling from my writer's pack because if it's a fairy tale, then we can either look at how to look at your story in a new way or maybe rewrite the story. And I'm pulling from this Lost Commandments Oracle deck, 32 Ways to Save Your Soul, because we're going to try to save your soul. This is created by a local artist in my neighborhood. I guess her name's Uti Harma. So you can look that up if you want. So, Aries. I got the Hanged Man for you. We got the Queen of Pentacles and the Fool. Aries. Okay. Yeah. It's been, oh my god. I feel like I'm always saying this. Maybe I need a new story. I'm always like, it's been fucking crazy. It really has. Okay. But maybe I can say instead of crazy, it's been transformative. Temperance, Sea Nymph, hot. I got Ace of Cups in reverse. Which is a giant whale in this deck. I don't know why. I got Ace of Swords. Quetzalcoatl. Don't know a lot about this, but very cool. And I love Ace of Swords. Okay, I'm going to stop here. And we got Six of Cups. Jenny Greenteeth? I don't know all of these. King of Pentacles, Leprechaun. So maybe one day I'll do more research on these archetypes, or these characters. Well, I mean, the Fool seems like a natural place to begin. We have the Fool, a new journey, a new beginning. Absolutely. I think you're interesting. Yeah. I'm just like processing your reading, but I guess it's like, I'll talk and Google at the same time. So I just know that you've been like manifesting a lot. And I think like a lot of what you've been doing has been about bringing parts of yourself into balance and kind of like getting, okay. Oh, there's Bruno. Okay. Six of Cups. I was like I googled Jenny Greenteeth. So she is a river hag, similar to Peg Powler or a Grindylow. She would pull children or the elderly into the water and drown them. Very cool. Yeah. Lake Monster. She is mentioned as being one of the names for a child snatching water demon, an Australian police officer. Okay, whatever. There's this movie, I guess, where an Australian police officer deals with her. But I guess that's actually interesting energy for the Six of Cups, because the Six of Cups is like definitely nostalgia past energy. And for this woman to be like pulling you into the lake, I guess it kind of feels like, especially like water energy and like that being the subconscious and our memories being in our subconscious, I guess it just feels a little bit like you can get lost there in the past. And you have this Fool energy, which is like such like a new beginning. So I guess it just feels like to me that maybe that there is lingering almost like trauma or something that is like impacting your new beginning, or that like as you have the new beginning, that there is like this old stuff that like is very past energy, but it just feels like it's being triggered, so to speak. It's being brought up because you're being challenged by your new growth, right? If that makes sense. Like, kind of like if we enter a new relationship, it's hard not to project our old relationship onto the new person, even though they're totally different people. because we've been hurt in the past, and like we're trying to protect ourselves. So like anytime something like remotely reminds us of like maybe an abusive situation, then like we get on edge. That's kind of what I get with this energy right here, is like that the past is past, and like you're moving forward past all of that shit, but it's just challenging to, because we got the Ace of Cups in reverse too, so it just feels like whatever potential love or vulnerability that you might be having in like maybe a romance or with friends, but I mean wherever it's playing out in your life, I guess it just feels like kind of a lack of trust, or like a guardedness, or a fear of vulnerability is sort of really the vibes I'm picking up right here for you. And that's not bad or anything. I think it's just to be aware of it and to be compassionate and kind to yourself if that is the case, and to really be gentle, because like you got these two energies. Whoops. Fuck. You know, the Temperance and you got the Hanged Man. I mean, I don't know a lot about this imp guy. I don't know. How much should I give importance to the imp? For me, the important part of the Hanged Man energy, and what I really just want to talk about, is that, and I mean, maybe like, right, this is like the trauma that's like coming up or surfacing, but I think the point is more than that, is to be patient and really sit through and acknowledge and have awareness about what's coming up for you. Because I think rather than trying to change things or trying to even heal things, although that is kind of what Temperance energy is, right? But I think what's more important at this point to me is like awareness. Because we got this Temperance. Like, I feel like your healing and like your continued a new journey is so much about allowing this unfolding, which sounds like kind of just like fake words that I said. I guess what it just feels like patience. Did I say that like a million times already? Patience with yourself and gentleness, and really is a Sagittarius energy. I think that you're incorporating your newness and your oldness. The pause is because there's so much growth. I mean, like, literally, there has been so much growth for you, and we got the Queen and the King of Pentacles. So this could be you and a partner, or it could just be, again, like, you balancing the parts of yourself. I think that this King of Pentacles in this deck looks like pretty fucking evil, if you ask me. I mean, look at him. And then she looks really fucking hot, because she's, like, a tree lady, but I guess what I'm feeling is that you're kind of building this empire, right? Like, you're really like, and maybe in partnership with someone else, like kind of becoming a leader. And that's so in your nature because you're an Aries and you are a leader, but I guess it just feels like with you stepping up into like this sense of your full power and like ruling maybe kind of like this pentacle dominion with someone else who is your partner. I guess I just get the sense of needing to incorporate and integrate all of yourself and your whole story. And it's all coming from like this growth, if that's making any sense. And then I got the Ace of Swords. I'll look up Quetzalcoatl. Why not? But yeah, I guess I just okay, here we go. Quetzalcoatl, a plumed serpent. This is the Supernatural entity or deity. Let's see. Why is planet Venus, patron god of Aztec priesthood, of learning and knowledge, god of intelligence and self-reflection, a patron of priests, a primordial god of creation, a giver of life. I mean, yeah, I guess then what I feel is, like, you kind of coming up into this power and, like leading this new empire, right? There is this element of needing to self-reflect, and kind of the self-reflection is like all this truth coming up, right? So it just feels like old fears might be coming up, and it might be because things are good, or it might be like imposter syndrome kind of thing too, is sort of what's happening. Like, the Fool in the traditional deck is like jumping off a cliff, right? And so I think that there's this fear of you like falling off the cliff, or that's like how you feel, is like, I'm gonna fall, like I'm not gonna fly. But I think really this month is about you healing and really taking it slow, and really like not feeling the need to rush, and trusting your own momentum, and trusting everything you've built, and trusting that also these truths are coming to light because it's time, like you're ready to deal with them. So maybe some shit happened to you in the past that you kind of put off, and you were like, I don't ever want to talk about that again. But now that like these good things are happening for you, there's like also kind of a sense of like, with the new beginning, like, okay, like this new beginning is happening, but that means that you're gonna be put in situations where you're feeling really vulnerable. So you need to deal with your own truth too, and kind of like be gentle and kind with yourself as you process and bring awareness to how maybe some past shit impacted or influenced you, and is like continuing to be stuff like how can you kind of let go of some of the baggage, as they say, the baggage. I'm gonna pull from my writer's deck now. And I can pull, well, whatever. We'll just see what happens, Aries. But I'm proud of you. You've been doing amazingly. And I think, especially since it's Scorpio season, I think now is just a really good time to be dealing with some of the darkness that you put off for later. Like, example, if you had like a really messy room and you like just had the door closed to it, you know, like in the house, like that was like the room in the house, like your hoarder room, where like you put all the shit you didn't know what to do with in there, and like the whole room is a mess, you can't even walk into it, and like it doesn't seem like it matters because you never use the room, and like the room is basically just a storage room. But it's like, why are you keeping all that shit? And like, can't that room be repurposed for something? And like, it must be dealt with at some point. So like, I think it's like kind of like that. Like, maybe the new thing that's happening is like, you're having a new guest come into your home, and so now you do have to deal with that room. Not literally, of course. I'm just saying, like, metaphorically, that's the energy that's going on for you. Is like, there's this thing that you've been putting off dealing with that's really scary and overwhelming, but I think you need to kind of go into it and deal with it because you have new stuff coming in, and that old stuff is blocking the whole new journey from like fully coming in. And there's, yeah. So, now I got for you cause and effect. Let's see. Okay, great. Cause and effect. Actions have consequences. How can the next few events result because of something your hero does? Okay, everything happens for a reason. Usually, that reason should be you, your hero. Look for ways your hero can take the reins of the story. So look for ways you can take the reins of your own story. There's nothing wrong with a passive hero as long as his passivity alters the course of the story. By doing nothing, something changes. Consider reversing the cause and effect. What if your hero robs a bank because he's a fugitive? What if your doctor causes rather than cures the epidemic? So I guess to me, well, and like this is a writing deck for writers, so like writers like to create conflict because it makes the story interesting, but for me as a tarot reader, your story I'm sure already has conflict, and what we're looking for you is for like peace and healing and like ease and flow. So I might like reword some of this, but like usually everything happens for a reason. So like how can those reasons be because of actions you take? How can you take the reins of the story? And like looking at cause and effect, how is like what you're like the good in your life, for example, causing new problems? How is the good in your life causing old shit to surface? Like that's been the theme of your reading. I'm going to pull a card from here. Okay, great. Two of Swords. Ghost. Yeah, I mean, this ghost energy is like being stuck between one chapter and the next. It's like this ghost has died, but they're not on the earthly realm, but they haven't moved on to the next realm. And so it's like the ghost believes that it has unfinished business, but the ghost really needs to like move on from Earth because it doesn't have a body anymore. I think that's kind of like a little bit of what's going on for you. It's like you're in between these chapters. You're in between like cycles, really. Like whole new parts of yourself are being. I'm gonna pull from here, my Oracle deck. But yeah, like whole new parts of your life and story are being created now, and I guess I just think it's a little bit time to deal with, and it says there's nothing wrong with being passive as long as, like, being passive changes the course of the story, but I really feel like for you, maybe if you have been passive in some ways, it's really important to start taking action, especially since you're an Aries and you're a fire sign, and, like, taking direction and control of your own life is sort of, like, your nature. I feel like if you have been passive or kind of like avoiding things, that is not really helping you be in alignment with yourself either, because like your nature is you taking action, going for things, making things happen, confronting almost. And I think know that you're strong enough and powerful enough to be able to heal and like find that temperance energy to make things right, basically. Okay, I got this card for you. It says, pay attention. Life is more interesting when you notice that you're living it. Yeah, so I feel like this is, again, maybe a call to, like, not be so passive. Like, to start taking some more direct action. And that kind of goes against what I said earlier about, like, the pause with the Hanged Man and the Temperance. But I guess, like, both can be true at once, right? Like, I guess what I want for you, Aries, is a gentleness with yourself to know that what you're doing is healing past trauma. And so to not, like, be forceful with your healing process in such a way that you're going to hurt yourself. But I also do want you to use that pause and not necessarily taking forward action on new endeavors, but taking your actions towards uncovering some of this truth that is surfacing, and to take some of that action to move you out of the, like, the fear. Is that making sense? So it's like being gentle with yourself as you move and heal from past trauma, but also in that process taking steps to do the healing, maybe, or kind of not being afraid of and confronting it, or be having awareness of it within yourself. Okay, that's all I got. A much shorter reading for you, but I guess it's a hopefully concise reading. And I love you. And you're doing great. And it's really, I think this period is just for you about, yeah, kind of, as I said, cleaning up the mess. But not, I don't want to call it the mess, but just confronting the parts of yourself that you've been hiding from. Yeah, all right. I love you, and I'll see you in December. Bye.